By what authority do you teach what you're teaching? And who gave you this authority? That was a question that was asked by Jesus, chapter 20 of the book of Luke, in the temple. It was asked by the high priest, scribes, and elders as they stood around him, asking that question as a way of trying to accuse him, trying to stop him from teaching and preaching the things that he preached. Jesus did a diversion, and he did not answer the question. Instead, he asked them a question. And the question that he asked them, he says, what about the baptism of John, meaning John the Baptist? And he says, was it of heaven or was it of man? Well, now, these learned, supposedly men who are supposed to be spiritual men, leaders of the church, you might say, they're faced with a dilemma. Because if they answer the question and they say, well, it was from heaven or it was from God, the baptism of John the Baptist, that was of God, then Jesus would simply say, well, then why did you not receive it? Why did you not adhere to it? And so then they said, if we say, no, it's not of heaven, John the Baptist had a tremendous ministry. I mean, Scripture says that John was the forerunner of Christ, which is true. But not only was he the forerunner of Christ in the spiritual sense, he was also a man who was conducting huge crusades. Multitudes of people who were coming to hear this man from the desert preach. And he was a man who preached with conviction, and he did not back down to anything, whether it be government officials or whatever. He spoke the truth, he called it out, and the people came to hear him preach. And many of those who were followers of John became followers of Jesus. And so here, if these scribes and the high priest and the elders, if they say, well, John's preaching and his baptism was not from heaven, then they're deducting here. They're going, this crowd's going to stone us. If we stand here and say that in this public hearing, these people are going to turn against us. And so they said, we're not going to answer the question. So they didn't answer Jesus' question, and Jesus didn't answer their question. By what authority, they wanted to know, do you teach and preach the things that you teach and preach? Jesus did not answer the question. Now, as Jesus often does, he told a story that gave insight into the whole realm of authority. But he did not answer the question. Well, the question has an answer. And I am going to speak concerning that as we go through this broadcast week. This is Pastor Jack King with the Gospel on the Radio broadcast.